So to understand the current situation, you guys will need a recap because it's a pretty deep rabbit hole. So for the people that are kind of confused on what's going on that has been on Twitter and don't want to sort of go through like around now, I think combined it's around like 80 something pages of Google Docs. So I found a pretty good summary of it, and this basically explains the situation up until the situation yesterday. Pay attention, take notes. A couple of months ago, Lantern Rite happened, and then of course with Lantern Rite there comes rewards, and then there's all this discussion about the rewards not being enough, and Atsu and Tectone kind of got into this like fight. As for the reason why they fight all the time, it kind of goes all the way back to the beginning of Genshin Impact. I'm not even kidding. Actually, the beginning of Genshin Impact. I think the drama started before Inazuma between Tectone and Atsu. I know because I was there. I was there because I was watching it on stream. Okay, don't blame me. Don't blame me. I told you guys from the start that I like drama, okay? Back in the day, Tectone had this friend called Goose Egg, and they were like really good friends, but for some reason Atsu keeps subtweeting about Goose being like Tectone's yes man, always just there when Tectone's there, sort of like creating content off of him. That made him really upset, and he kind of quit making content because of it. Tectone really didn't like that, and he still kind of holds the grudge towards Atsu even like after like years. I mean, to be fair, imagine this situation, right? You met someone on the streets and you guys vibed off. You guys are having a really good time. Like you guys hang out a lot, go to the arcade together, go get drinks together, and then your co-worker of 3 months comes in and be like, yo, fuck this guy, I heard he sucks. Wouldn't that piss you off? Like your not even like your mom, not even like your friend of like multiple years, your coworker of like 3 months comes in and be like shit talking about someone that you are having a really good time with. That's how I remember it. It wasn't his place. I don't know why you would like subtweet stuff like that anyways, but even if they are, so what? Like who are you to sort of like stick your nose into their business, okay? So that's like the entire Tectone Atsu thing, which is why you guys see them fight on Twitter all the time. So in the middle of their fight, Braxaphone comes in. Braxaphone at that point already has like a lot of pent up sort of like resentment towards Atsu. So he has like this entire document basically asking Atsu about like why Atsu doesn't really like him, and this is a pretty good summary of it. Brax first approached Atsu, like he first met Atsu at a Genshin event made for content creator to get to know each other, and then he opens up the conversation. He doesn't say hi. I don't think he said hi. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he said hi. He didn't say hi, right? The opener for the conversation was really awkward, and it just spiraled from there. Like it was very awkward for Atsu, but he didn't say anything about it, you know? He didn't say anything to Brax about it. He just let it sit. It sort of reached the point where Atsu starts to like talk to other people about his sort of like beef with Braxaphone, and then Braxaphone gets a wind of it, you know? Like, you know how when you work at a place, you may not be friends with every other coworker that you work with, but you may be friends with a coworker that is friends with another coworker. So when word spread, it kind of goes back, whether you like it or not. You kind of catch wind of it, right? So that's basically what happened. After like these like rumors and like word of mouth by like different people, Braxaphone gets like this feeling that Atsu doesn't really like him. He feels like he's like left out in the Genshin content creator space. Understandable. It kind of got like into this like big thing where they argued against each other, and like Brax was saying that he felt like he was like sort of like blacklisted from like opportunities because Atsu has this ability to sort of convince Hoyoverse to bring people to events or not. It's all speculated. Everything I've said so far is speculated. There's like no concrete proof. So it's like all just speculation, all just text. The entire document is like 33 pages long. You can read up all about it, but I'm gonna just skip all the way to the end. And basically Atsu said they made up. They have come to a compromise. They understood each other. The beef is squashed. Time skip to 2 days ago. Atsu released this document. I know a lot of these people involved, so I'm trying to come at it from like the fairest point of view, okay? Just like a bystander point of view. I'm not even picking sides. I'm just literally just from what I see. I'm not gonna go through all 34 pages. Relax. Hoyoverse blacklisted Atsu. I mean, that's bound to happen. He's broken a lot of rules, I think, at this point. So he starts off by sort of giving like a sort of like insight into like his mental state. He states that he's currently going through a divorce because he found out that his wife cheated on him, and he tried to unalive himself 2 times. He's not doing so well, okay? Now, the thing about content creators, chat, you will only see what we want you to see. You will never know what is going on in the background. This means you should never just take their word for it. The thing about the divorce thing, I'm kind of skeptical because we have not heard from the other party, which is his, well, soon to be ex-wife, if this is true. We only looking at his side of the story, okay? This is only true if you take his word for it. His wife deleted like all her social media, so there's no way to prove anything that is true. So whatever you see here is just from his, it's his words. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. Take it with a grain of salt. But then he goes on to say that he was unsatisfied with his sort of like compromise with Braxophone. He still wants to do like a further explanation about how Braxophone wasn't blacklisted. He was getting deals. If you say you made up with a person, you just leave it at that. Why continue it? If you said we're all good, then you're all good. There's like literally, it keeps continuing for like 6 pages or something like that. If you have anything else to say, that should have been like a continuation of a conversation that you have privately, not a public document that you post on Twitter to like 13 million people. So the beef is not squashed. So you still hold like resentment towards the person. That's not squashing any beef, bro. If you squash beef, that's it. Leave it. Leave it. It's done. It's done. No more conversations about it. He goes as far as sort of claiming that he's done cleaning up everyone else, insinuating that other people that he knew were in on it as well. He posted a picture of a Discord of his sort of friend circle. He said, "Can't believe I have to type this. Although I do not trust or like him. If you want to be friends with Braxville, it's totally fine. I have been told he's going around Hoyoverse staff complaining that I'm not befriending him. As a result, he cannot gain access." That is talking behind someone's back 101. I sort of went through this. Dare I say, nobody involved in all of this did anything right. He's wrong to start the conversation, but everyone else basically sort of jumped in on it. Is this not like middle school shit? Talking behind someone's back, not confronting them of any issues you have with them, just straight up talking behind someone's back. Is that not middle school, high school shit? That should not be done by grown-ass adults. I know everyone is looking for like a good guy, bad guy. Dare I say everybody involved is in the wrong somehow. I think everybody had their own sort of faults, except Ziox. Okay, like I scrolled down to see why Ziox was mentioned. To Nick Ziox, I've told you this in person, but I feel like you have matured over the past 2 years since meeting you at Anime Expo. You and I are both aware that I got out of my way to clean up after you after a certain issue. I don't want anything to do with whatever skeletons you may or may not have in your closet. I fucking knew it. This piece of shit. The thing is, chat, like a lot of content creators that have mentioned in this document, I have interacted with, and I have extremely positive experiences. I did not have any bad experience with any content creator, with an exception of maybe Tuwanto, but that was like a minor issue back then where I kind of used his name in co-op, and then someone screen capped it thinking Tuwanto was a scammer. Posted it on Twitter, got 10k likes. Tuwanto saw it, DM'd me, got a bit mad, just a bit mad. I apologize. That was it. My fault. I'm sorry. Even Tectone, I had a positive experience with Tectone. I never had a negative experience with Tectone. I left a comment. I think it was like something about John Lee being like a shit character or something like that. I said my favorite streamer Tectone would argue that John Lee had no issues. He saw it, DM'd me. I DM'd him back. Was my fan interaction good enough? He laughed at me and asked me to come on the podcast. Unfortunately, I have a 9-to-5 job. Could make it, okay? Everybody here, even the people mentioned, Minsley, Jonathan, Ziox, Dish, Mtash, everyone here, I had a positive experiences. So like I don't know why there's like a lot of mentions of content creators in this document. I genuinely, like, I don't know how Atsu could have this much like negative experience, or he thinks is negative experience with content creators, when every single content creator I've had experience with has been positive. Although it's not in person, maybe it's like a different experience when it's in person. The weird part about this is that he remembers to like the exact sort of interaction that he had with everyone, which is kind of weird. Do you remember every interaction that you had with like people? Although they might be content creators, but like you surely do not, like 30 something people, you surely do not, right? Like the exact sort of interaction you had with somebody else, right? Like there's no shot. Unless it's like a sort of like really bad or really good experience. Even some of these experiences, like I'll take Minsley for an example. Okay? I know we recently met in person for a creative opportunity. Although we didn't talk much, I appreciate you for taking the quesadilla away from me so I wouldn't suffer the consequences of lactose intolerance. Yeah, there's no way you remember that. Come on. I'll take that with a grain of salt, bro. Like one small interaction, you remember that? Come on. And then John, I have been told you felt I was unwelcoming you because you were a white male creator. Who told him that? Who's the I've been told? You've been told by who? You can't just leave it like that. Who? Name drop. Come on. Yeah, I've been told. You've been told by who? What the fuck is this? Come on. If you say I was told, you can't just like, I'm just gonna leave their name out of it for anonymity. Is that the right word? Right. So like all of this sort of happened, obviously after sort of like leaking their own sort of private circles, private conversation before what you would call as close friends. He explained Zox's part. Oh, wait. I think I saw this part. Didn't he say it was like Ziox bringing in girls into like his Airbnb or something like that with like alcohol? Was that it? Yep. Oh shit, fuck. Okay, if it is, then whatever. I kind of heard it. I was watching it on my couch while falling asleep, okay? Like you can't really prove that, right? You can't really prove that. Take it with a grain of salt. Unless you literally have a camera attached to their body 24/7, you have no way of knowing what they say is true or not. You only know what they say while on camera, what they do on camera. You have no idea what happens off camera. So you have no idea if it's true or not, okay? Don't just believe what somebody says. Innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around, which the internet seems to like a lot. Guilty until proven innocent is what the internet wants. But what I do have proof here is that Jacob Tuanto is saying Braxavone can suck his ass. And then, of course, he didn't mean it, okay? So the backstory behind this is that Braxaphone went to an event and took a picture with Atsu and his group of friends, okay? And then Braxaphone posted the picture on Twitter, not knowing one of the people in there was a VTuber that didn't want their face to be revealed. Coincidentally, that was Tuanto's girlfriend at the time, and he essentially doxed Tuanto's girlfriend. To Braxaphone's defense, nobody told him that she was a VTuber, nor did anybody say that she doesn't want her face to be revealed. It's still wrong. Yeah, it's still wrong. You did dox the guy's girlfriend. I mean, he has every right to be upset. Regardless of your intent, you did do it. It happened. This was like also part of why Braxaphone was feeling like why he wasn't getting invited to events, because the context of this was Jacob Tuanto was hosting a party for like Genshin CCs or like just like people that he knows, and he invited one of Braxaphone's friends. So that friend thought they could bring Braxaphone as a +1, and it really made him upset because at the time he was still pissed off at Braxaphone. So that was their beef. Why would you bring a +1? Well, depending on the hosts, usually for parties you're allowed to bring +1s. At least for the parties I've been to, usually the host announces it though. Usually the host says you're free to bring a +1. Usually the host announces it. I don't know if he announced it. If he announced it and they still brought a +1, hey, that's bad manners. After all of this, Atsu's friends were like kind of forced to like make a response. So you have Tuanto's response. You can watch the video if you want, and then there's Dish's response. So like basically everybody's just sort of giving their side of the story, and it really seemed like Atsu is just really mad at his friends not backing him up. Where is it? Yeah, but I also never able to really get over the position you put me in, the things you couldn't have refuted but chose not to. Listen, that's not what friends are for. If every single friend has failed to defend you, you have done something wrong. If what you consider as close friends, every single one of them is refusing to defend you, you have done something wrong. Because if everyone is an asshole, you're probably the asshole. If literally everyone seems like an asshole to you, you're probably the asshole. Friends are not there to defend defend your bad decisions. Friends are there to call out your bullshit so you don't fucking spiral downwards further and further. They're not there to fucking just support you no matter what you say, all right? That's called a paid actor. You can call this like a close circle of friends, right? I'm sure people has beautiful friendship that they have made over the internet, but you can only talk to your friends when they are online. You can only talk to your friends when they are on their PC. So like realistically, how much time do you really spend with your so-called friends, right? Of course, you get to see each other by traveling together, but it's only for a couple of days, right? Until you have to go back to your house. Personally, the amount of people that I can tell secrets like I am Pokemon's editor and I jerk off to Pokemon while I edit her videos, the amount of people that I can tell that to is this much. I'm gonna get canceled. Why am I getting canceled? Don't clip that out of context, bro. Clip it in context. I'm not Pokemon's editor, you dipshits. That's someone else. Back to topic. So Dish also made a sort of like response to this, saying that they all got kicked out of the server, but she saved some images. All in all, this could have ended a lot more different. I feel like as like a bystander, I feel like just apologizing for causing a lot of distress to others, apologizing for ruin someone's friendship, and just like leave it at that. Like you don't have to sort of like, but to justify this person did this, to be fair, like this person did this, like you don't really have to do that. If you were to like genuinely want closure, I feel like every person mentioned here could have just DM'd them. Like none of this has to be public. People said Atsu's wife cheated from Atsu's words. Like how are you gonna prove that unless you literally have like every party involved giving a statement about it? I only believe what I see. Moral of the story is grow the fuck up. Talk this shit out with people. If you have issues with them, don't let it come to whatever the fuck this is. Grown-ass adults approaching 30 can't even resolve a simple misunderstanding. That's rich coming from me, by the way. But all in all, very sad situation. It could have ended a lot better, obviously. Like after all of this is just sort of ended with like loose ends. Everybody involved is upset. Nobody involved is happy. No conclusion. Everybody's upset. Nothing got resolved. Amazing. Good job.